You alright? It's time for this week's Here's How. And this week, here's how to upset a chicken. Swap out a shed for an old oven from a scrapyard. The smarter ones, you see, they're going to understand what you're trying to do, and they're going to try and start some sort of revolution or try and lead an escape. But the more naive chickens of the flock, they're not going to believe them. Then the smart one's going to get ostrich-sized. That way, now that he's a lot bigger, he can force them to do whatever he tells them. They don't like it when you just grab one and scream in the face. Lie in front of a mesh-walled coop and then use some cooked chicken drumsticks, sort of like Abe Simpson style, and make it look like your head's got two little legs made of freshly roasted chicken meat. Grab one by its ankles, tie a rope to the ankles, then see if you go fast enough on a jet ski. Does it float in the air like a parasail? Now this works twofold. A chicken hates being in the sea, where one of its many natural predators lurks, and they also hate flying, where approximately a third of its natural predators hang out. Keep putting the clocks back an hour or so it keeps crowing out of sync with nature, and then your neighbours start screaming at it out of the window to start insulting it. Look her dead in the eye and squeeze a fresh, warm egg into your mouth, smothering the clear, runny liquid around your cheeks and chin. Then whisper to her, "Baby juice." Maybe do it regularly and start pinning little posters up in chicken scratch that say, "You'll never be a mum." Whilst broody, replace all of her eggs after a couple of weeks with rubber or ceramic eggs. Maybe she'll believe that they're still her eggs and she'll continue to sit on them indefinitely, and then become a depressed chicken, watching all of her neighbours have chicks and raising them, even possibly waiting a few months and having sex with the new cockerels while still going back to her eggs to help them hatch. But they never will. You smashed them in your flower beds for local hedgehogs to come and eat weeks ago. Maybe you don't want to deny her motherhood, but you want her to regret having sex. Swap her eggs out for snake eggs. Some form of constrictor, I'd guess at. They probably have a good-sized egg, and before long, they'll be eating all the other chicks that hatch, and eventually turn on her and her friends. Her female feathered friends will have her for damaging their sisterhood of hen wives, all becoming whatever the equivalent of a widow is, but instead of losing a partner, they've lost every single one of their children. And in their eyes, it's all because of this one chicken. Force them to live in one of those rotating tubes that they've got in fun houses, the sort of thing you'd see at a bonfire night. One big rotating tube, but you've built a 2-foot high cage on the surface so that they can really get thrown around in there. They can't really sleep, it'll smash whatever eggs they manage to lay, and they have to put up with listening to some sort of Katy Perry song on repeat, and a fella that keeps asking, "Do you want to have some fun?" Lots of people leave the radio on to keep their chickens happy, but they don't tend to produce their own songs for their chickens. You've heard of a jaunty tune, but what about a taunty tune? Something to really get under the skin. You could try and list all the ways you could hurt them, but to the tune of Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls. I could glue all your feathers, pluck you, smash your eggs with a bowl or a shoe. You're not very clever, so I'll shove a live wire down the thin holes in your beak. Put urinal cakes in your water and swing you around by your feet. Invite all me neighbours with dogs round and stake all the leads in the ground. And I'll rile them all up with air horns, and I'll tell them to go find the cats. And while they're all barking and fighting, I will stand there and point and I'll laugh. Ramming other birds' eggs back inside you. Pierce your comb with a rusty penknife. Supply the old cockerel with dick pills and some roofies to fuck you tonight. And I'll set up an old-fashioned camera and premiere all the footage it cans. If it flops, the whole flock will disown you. And if it's good, they'll all think you're a slag. Maybe you want to go for a bit of Fleetwood Mac. I hatched you out of an egg. I dropped your brother and I ate your dad. And I've sort of enslaved you in this mud-covered cage where you'll stay until you're dead. Or saute or air fry the kids you loved. Your manure fed the herbs I used as rub. Left your neighbour's shed open, and the fox came and decorated with their insides. Now I'm aware you're shaking, and it feels like God's chose you. That's a fear-stricken coma, and if you don't get over it, I'll wring your neck too. Well, all your friends were tasty, and I've set my eyes on you. But it's when you're colder, there's a lot of leftover bones for a stock or stew, or even a broth or soup. I'll take your box and clean it out. Pour out all your things onto the ground, and I'll quickly replace you like I did to your mum, and I'll try to eat her too. A little glint in her eye to remind me of you. Well, I bet she's tasty too. Oh, I'll eat her and think of you. Maybe today you're just really enjoying producing songs to upset your chickens, so you go for a personalised rendition of Drops of Jupiter. I take your eggs out of this hatch here and box them up into multiples of 6. They have a hard shell, but they taste quite plain, and I think that is quite a shame. Boiled, fried, poached, you don't eat them alone. Might have them on toast or whipped into a foam, just like a meringue. I take your unborn descendants away. I might mix them into a cake, or bake them into a pie, or use them to make pastry shiny. Maybe they'll be bought by an angry teen, one who is really pissed off, and he is gonna take them and throw them at his new teacher's home. At Easter we pierce your evacuation, dress them in hats and we paint a face on. It takes about 3 weeks to hatch a chick, but we'd rather warm them or petard quicker. We heat them up till the juice ain't clear and try not to think that they came out of your arsehole, the cloaca, your back end vagina. It kinda freaks us out that you menstruate, man. The bakery tells me I have to collect your eggs, that it is my job to take away any opportunity that your babies may have had. They'd be tiny, and you'd probably be a good mum, but you're never gonna get the chance because I've taken all your unborn friends from under you. And that's the end of this week's Here's How.